everybody. Thank you for standing by. We are light on early announcements today, so I will turn it over quickly to the head coach. Coach, take it away.
All right, thanks, Ross. Good morning, everybody. We're excited about getting back on the road this week. I've been at home here for 3 weeks in a row, so looking forward to heading down to Georgia Tech and playing a much improved team. Jeff's done a great job. Again, when you watch film, you can see certain things as a coach. This team is playing with confidence. They're playing with great effort. They believe in what they're doing. They believe in each other. They don't quit. Got down 17-0 to Syracuse and, didn't flinch. Battled all the way back and win the ball game. But, really done a nice job, schematically. Offensively, they're spread, RPO, play action, quarterback run type of team. Quarterback's their leading rusher. He's a really good player. He's got a big arm. Got number 1 and 15, two big body, strong-handed guys on the outside. Number 2 in the slot, who's really quick, really fast, and a little bit of a matchup problem in there. They've really got the run game going. You saw that this past week as well against Syracuse and Louisville. Really did a nice job running the football. I think they've found some really good backs there. The freshman 21 is really a good young talent that I think has a bright future. Offensive line, well coached, tough, physical guys up front, and again schematically do a really, really nice job with their tempo and their stretch and their counters and zone read stuff off of it. So. Again, much improved team and a team we've got a lot of respect for. Defensively, they got 6 starters back, done a nice job, very experienced in the secondary. I think they had a couple injuries, a couple guys out that now are back, and, expect them to really be a big challenge for us. Probably got one of the best punters we've seen. He's been there, seems like, 7 years. He is a great punter, big leg. And, but, proud of our team, proud of how they've, worked these first 4 games. We put ourselves in a good position, the position we want to be in. But we all know that great teams get better, great teams improve. And to me, that's the next step for us is to clean up some of the mistakes that we've made and to play a complete game for 4 quarters in all 3 phases. And, again, Georgia Tech's a place that we haven't had a ton of success at historically. Again, we got a lot of respect for the program, the university, and the challenge that we'll have ahead of us this week. Any questions?
Line's open for questions. If you will, please identify your name and affiliation.
Hey, Coach, Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. You mentioned that punter of theirs, Harvin, really good leg. How difficult is it to get good returns on him when he gets the hang time that he does?
It's difficult. I mean, he's, you just hope that he kicks it so far you out-kicks his coverage. But when he hangs it up there, it's a real challenge, to get a return. And it's a challenge to field the ball. I mean, he can really – he can launch it. So we've got to do a great job of making the right adjustments during the game as far as, our alignments and giving Maury the best chance possible to have a return.
Anybody with anything else for Coach?
Coach Joe Gorger, WIS. A couple years ago, Trevor Lawrence put together one of his best games early on in his freshman season, and the following week he named him the starter. Just reflecting back to that game in 2018, what do you remember from Lawrence's performance, and what have you seen from him, I guess, the rest of the way? I mean, there's a lot to go through historically with Trevor. Just what do you remember about that game, and what led to your decision to make him the starter back then?
Oh, man, he was just you just know when you know. And he made one play in particular, moving to his left. He threw an absolute rope in a window about that big to Hunter Renfrow that, just – and then what he did with the rest of his day, just impressive. And, you know, it was a difficult time. It was a tough bus ride home for me because I knew what the right thing to do for the team was, but I knew it was going to be a tough conversation, tough decision. But you know, it was, you know, that's my job, and I knew it was the right thing to do for the team. You know, for us to be able to, you know, reach our potential, and you know, he's just an amazing player. I mean, he's you know, and this is a game of competition and performance, and you know, I love all my players, but you know, he just clearly was the best guy, and you know, what he's done since then is incredible. I mean, it's just incredible. You know, and he's such a great young man. He's such a great person. He's a great human being. He's so coachable. He loves to prepare. You know, he loves the grind. He loves the whole process of being a football player and getting better. You know, whether it be developing his body, developing his mind, his footwork, his pocket presence, you name it. He's fanatical about all those things. He's always self-scouting himself to see, you know, how he's doing, whether it be his ball fakes, his feet alignment, you know, little things to, you know, when I grab my towel, you know, am I tipping anything? When do I only point on pass, or am I pointing on run? And, you know, things like that. You know, he does a great job of self-scouting himself to be able to be the best version of himself week in and week out. And I just love that about him. He's a great teammate, great leader, and just a joy to be able to, you know, be a part of his journey. I can't believe his 3 years is up. He's graduating in December, and you know, I tell you, time flies. And but it's been a real pleasure to watch this young man grow and mature, you know, on and off the field, and can't wait to watch how he's going to finish this year, and also, you know, he's going to play football for a long time. And but that's the other thing I love about him. He knows, he's very self-aware of who he is and his opportunities, and but he loves college football. He loves Clemson. He loves his teammates. He loves competing. He really values this experience that he's been able to have, and he's so in the moment and present, just really trying to be great where his feet are, and that's another thing I love about him.
Dabo, this is Pete at AP.
Hey, Pete.
You had a Heisman vote. Would you give it to Travis or Trevor or somebody else? How do these voters expect to decide on something like this?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'll believe that when I see it. We've had you know, some guys around here that I feel like were very deserving as well, but who knows how all that stuff's going to go. Really not worried about it. I just like seeing them have fun and like seeing them play, and you know, who knows how other people see things, but I know this: there's not two better football players in the country than T squared, Travis and Trevor.
Dabo, this is Larry Williams. Travis's long run, you know, all the focus, of course, was on the run. But how much joy, I guess, did you coaches get watching the film, seeing Davis Allen with that block, really springing him for that?
See, now I appreciate that, Larry. Now that is a good football question right there. I have great appreciation for those little things right there. Man, are you kidding me? That was on our hit tape yesterday. I mean, Davis, he smashed that dude, man. I mean, and that guy is a great. They call Travis the silent assassin. I'd put Davis in the same category because he and Travis are kind of two peas in a pod. Neither one of them say a whole lot. They just do. You hear them with how they do their job. And man, what a great you know, wraparound block on the counter there, and just, you know, good kick out block by Putnam. And but it was just there was the hole just exploded open, between the kick out and the wrap by Davis, got him to the grass quick, and then Travis did the rest. But yeah, he's one of the more physical guys we've had come through here, and got a bright future. I mean, he's a really good athlete, and getting better and better every single day. So yeah, I love that guy.
How important is it that he's not just a physical guy, I guess, not just that H-back type, that he can also be a threat in the passing game?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, those guys are hard to find. I mean, they really are. Those a lot of times you have to kind of piece it together a little bit. Some guys are really good at something, but maybe not quite as good at something else, and you just have to kind of put it together because you need that presence in the game. But when you can find guys that can do everything, it's a problem. That bring that two-back presence to the run game, that physicality, but also have that wide-out skill set, and have the route running ability with a big body that creates, matchup problems, and guys that are open even when they're covered, just by their range, their strength, and being able to position themselves between the defender and the ball. It's hard to find those complete type players. Sometimes they have to develop. A guy like Braden, you find him, you kind of hope that he might take to it a little bit and have that bite, and he has. A guy like Jordan Leggett, who we knew, he'd never blocked a soul. He was a wideout, and it took us a little while, but man, what a weapon he became for us. And he was never, he was never like Davis when it comes to just that physicality, but he got better and better and better. So we've had a little bit of everything, but he's a complete player in every aspect. Just Dwayne Allen was very similar, very complete. Dwayne was physical, he was a open guy when he was covered, good ball skills, created matchup problems. And Davis brings that same, completeness to the position. Braden has had to develop into that. Obviously, he's special big time in other areas, but he's really come on from a physicality standpoint. So it's just good to have some. And listen, we got other guys. Listen, Jalen Lay and Sage Ennis, those two young bucks right there, they're going to be really good. We hit it on both of them. Jalen is a developing guy, and really, with more opportunity, which will come, he's really improved, and I'm excited about his future. And then Sage Ennis is a lot like Davis. In fact, they're very, very similar. So I think we got a good group, and it's a position that's we try to put a huge emphasis on because it's who we are, and makes our offense go.
Dabo, this is Grace Rayner from The Athletic. Just as a follow-up on that, if you had to estimate how much more 12 personnel y'all are playing this year, I guess what would you say?
Not much. About the same. Maybe a percentage or two, but we're an 11 personnel team. That's our base. That's not going to change. But we'll sprinkle in some 12 personnel from time to time. I always have done that when we've been kind of able to do that, but that's not going to ever be our base. But we do just enough of it to complement our base offense.
Hey Dabo, it's Zach Braziller with the New York Post. Here in New York, there's already a lot of talk about Trevor, and obviously one of the New York teams possibly taking him. I just want to get your thoughts on, there's been talk about him for 3 years, teams, potentially tanking for him, and also, what do you think makes him such an elite prospect? I've talked to a bunch of people who've already said he's the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Him, Luck, and Elway are three guys that really stand out over the last, 25 years. Just kind of what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't have any thoughts about the New York stuff, but as far as Trevor as a quarterback prospect, I don't know what you would want in a quarterback that he doesn't possess. So it's the best way I can answer that. there's nothing that you could desire to have in a quarterback that's not there. You want size, you got it. You want a guy that can run, you got it. You want a guy that has great football IQ, you got it. You want a guy that's a great leader, you got it. You want a guy that loves to work, loves to prepare, same guy every day, you got it. You got to want a guy that's humble, and you got it. You want a guy that makes everybody else better, doesn't ask anything more from anybody than he's willing to give, you got it. You want a guy that's accurate, you got it. You want a guy that's got great pocket presence, you got it. You want a guy that's got toughness and ain't afraid to go get a first down, you got it. You want a guy that's going to give you every ounce of what he's got, you got it. So I don't know what you could want in a quarterback that he doesn't possess. That's the best way I can answer it.
Thank you.
Coach, this is Todd Shaughnessy in Spartanburg. That being said about Trevor, when there are teaching moments, and there were a couple Saturday when a chance to get on him about mistakes, how important is it to do that and not let him slide because he's Trevor?
Oh, hey, these guys all know I'm tougher on guys like Trevor than I am anybody. Always have been, and it's always been the case here. But unfortunately for me, I don't get many opportunities to get on to Trevor. He makes it really, really hard for me. But I did have a moment the other day because he spiked the ball, and when he gets to New York or wherever y'all think he's going, he can spike the ball and do whatever he wants to do, but not here. And it was a good opportunity for me to get on to him, and he was fired up for a second, and he came over and he's like, "Coach, I'm really sorry. I know I shouldn't have done that." And so he's just, that's what I love about him is, again, he loves that. He loves to be challenged and coached, but he makes it hard on us. Streeter's done an amazing job with him, and but he loves that. But it's our best players have to be the most disciplined guys, and our best teams, that's the way it's been, and it's no different on this team.
How he lost his cool for a second, though, the way things were going, and taking those.
Yeah, but next time I'm gonna put him on kickoff coverage. I'm gonna let him cover the kick.
Dabo, this is Gene in Charleston. I know you love your off-the-field guys, your analysts, and all those guys that work behind the scenes. How has that system for you guys evolved over the years, and what do you look for when you're trying to pick out someone to be on that staff for Clemson?
Yeah, just guys that love ball. We don't really have we just got a bunch of grinders. I mean, those guys do an amazing job. If you look at our guys, when I got the job, that was one of the things that I felt like we had no support staff. I mean, you had 2 GAs and the coaches, that was it. And I just felt like we were getting outworked because there was more hands on deck with a lot of teams that we played. And so I got 5 jobs at $20,000 each, no benefits, and I was happy with that. I just needed boots on the ground, man, guys that could support the coaches and just help, that I could give assignments to and help prepare more efficiently, from a game plan standpoint, self-scout standpoint, crossover study, you name it. Just eyes on your players, recruiting, every aspect of having a program. And Terry Don allowed me to do that, and I just got guys that were willing to work for $20,000 and no benefits. That's what I got. And then we just kind of grew. And then when Terry Don came, when Radakovich got here and Terry Don retired, Dan let me make them full-time jobs. And I think they were all like, $40,000 with benefits. And that was like a huge step. And I really just kind of kept the guys and promoted guys and GAs but if you look at our support staff, they do an amazing job. I mean, Wesley Goodwin is my senior defensive assistant, and Cam Aiken is my senior offensive assistant. And Cam was a manager here. He was a manager. Wesley was a manager at Mississippi State. And when I hired Woody, he came here, and Wesley's been here with me. He left me for a couple years and went to the NFL, and then came back. And I mean, he's a special guy. I mean, amazing coach, and actually coached our safeties in the LSU game back in 2012. And then, you go from there, and the rest of the guys are just guys, former players. I think we got like 20 former players on this staff in different capacities. So usually guys that I know love ball, guys that aren't afraid to work. You have your GAs, and then you got your support guys that do a good job. Chancey Stuckey is one of those guys. J.P. Lossman. You got your GAs offensively, Maverick Morris, Hot Rod, McDowell, so over on the defensive side, a kid named Matthew Maloney's our GA. He's a kid that just a student helper, showed up every day. He's our GA on the field now. Xavier Brewer's our GA. Those guys do an awesome job. DeAndre McDaniel, Miguel Chavis, that's our support guys, and they just take a lot of pride. Daniel Boyd, another GA for us. So we just got a bunch of great guys that work hard and student volunteers that help support those guys, and we work well with each other and try to help each other prepare and give each other a different lens from time to time to make sure we're checking ourselves.
Also, one more thing, Dabo. You once compared Deshaun to Michael Jordan. What NBA player would you compare Trevor Lawrence to?
The whole Michael Jordan thing, and the reason that kind of came about, if y'all remember, that year the Bears had the 3rd pick in the draft, and that really is kind of why that came about. Although I think he's very similar. I think he's unbelievable. He's magical, like MJ was. But that was the best way I could describe him. I was like, if you pass on this guy, it's like the Bulls passing on Jordan with the 3rd pick. And so anyway, I don't know who I would compare him to. I have no idea from a basketball standpoint, but from a football standpoint, I mean, I think he's one of a kind. To be honest with you, I don't really compare him to anybody. I think he's got attributes of all the greats that I've been around and that I've seen.
Hey, Dabo, this is Will with the Clemson Insider. Wanted to ask you today, when you woke up, did you have any thought that today was 12 years ago today, that your kind of world changed a little bit? Did you think about it all this morning?
Honestly, I did not think. I thought about it this morning, but only because Kath, I was up late last night. Tuesday nights are late, and it was about 12:30, and she rolled over and gave me a kiss on my cheek and said, "Happy anniversary." And I didn't really know what she was talking about. I panicked for a second, and that I was in an out-of-body experience there. But then I realized it was October 13th, so that was pretty cool. Had a just thinking about it. So when I woke up this morning, I obviously knew that today, about right now, I was in Terry Don's office, as a matter of fact, and trying to chart out the next 7 weeks and figure it out. Ironically, we were playing Georgia Tech, so hopefully we can get a different result, 12 years later. But yeah, it's amazing. It's hard to believe, man. Time flies. It's incredible. It's cool for me because I got a bunch of guys on our staff now. C.J. Spiller, Miguel, Grisham. There's a lot of guys on this team now. Brewer, that were here. Rashard Hall, D-Mac. A lot of these guys were here and playing, and it's really cool to have these guys around. And a bunch of those guys texted me this morning as well. So that's pretty cool. And we've come a long way. And should have bet on the over. That's probably what we should have done back then.
Yeah, but do you remember? I'm sorry. Just gonna ask. Do you remember? I know it's been about 5 years, but do you remember when Balin came to camp and what impressed you about him as a prospect then?
Oh yeah. I've known his dad a long time. His dad was a receiver here, and but he came to camp. We had our eyes on him a little bit, but he came to camp, needed to perform in camp, and remember it very well. I was in the indoor facility, and right toward the end of practice, Brent brought him over to me, and he said, "Hey," he said, "Coach," he said he's a guy. He can do it, and so that was pretty cool to be able to, tell his dad and be able to offer him a scholarship. And he's a great player. And he's been here 4 years, and not many people ask me about Balin. And again, that's a great reminder to media, to fans, to everybody, to not put so much pressure on these young guys. It's not as bad on a guy like Balin. He's probably, not as highly recruited. But, man, some of these guys that are so highly recruited and this and that, they're still young people. And the game is different. There's just a lot to learn, a lot to develop into. And, if you have the work ethic, their talent gets them here. Their skills developed. And if you've got the work ethic, you're going to make it, But this is a place that you got to put the work in, and you got to go earn it. And Balin is the epitome of that. But I remember that well. And then same thing when Brandon came along. What a great player he's going to be. He's a redshirt freshman. You already see him. He's a little ahead of his brother as far as opportunity. Early in his career, but Brandon's going to be another great one for us for the next several years. So good player. I mean, instinctive. He and Skowski, it's a reflection of how they practice. I mean, I'm telling you, every single rep at practice is a game rep to those two guys. And they put a ton of work in every week to get themselves ready to play. And it's just good to see them, enjoy the fruits of their labor a little bit because, I know how hard they've worked. It's the unseen grind. That's a ton of work that they put in. And, kind of call them the Bruise Brothers. Those two right there, something to watch and fun to see. They play the game the way it should be played.
Hey Dabo, it's Anna with Clemson 24/7, and I know you kind of briefly touched on this the other night, but with the 4 cornerbacks that you rotated pretty evenly on Saturday, just how does that enhance your ability to, I guess, diversify and then keep guys fresh, especially against the tempo spread teams and as the season progresses?
Yeah, well, it's where we've been trying to get to, and we've kind of finally hit that spot where we have that type of functional depth at corner, where we can really, where I don't really even have to think about it, to be honest with you. Trust all those guys, and not just those 4. I mean, I trust Lee Anthony. I trust, Lee Anthony's a different type player, but I trust him. Same thing with Fred and Malcolm, these 2 freshmen. They're still knowledge-wise, they're kind of getting where they need to be, but skill set-wise, man, those are 2 great young talents. So it's awesome to be able to keep guys fresh, but not only that, to keep an edge, to keep the competition, to be able to have the type of practice environment that you want as well. And it also challenges our guys on offense. When you have that type of depth. In all your good on good work. So it's good to see, and hopefully we can stay healthy and those guys can continue to play well.
Coach, this is Cam Gaskins with ABC Columbia. I remember last season when you were talking about preparing for Georgia Tech, how difficult it was with the new coach, new system. You didn't really have any tape on them. I was curious how different it is preparing for them in year 2 now that you have a year basically of tape on them, and also if there's any relief to looking at Georgia Tech on the schedule and not having to spend a whole week prepping for the triple option now.
Absolutely, there's a relief to that. I don't think anybody looks forward to having to play the triple option. That's in today's world of offensive football, that's a different type of challenge, and it's really not a part of your foundational defense. But we know a lot more about them than we did last year for sure. Being able to see film last year and then obviously where they are this year. So, hopefully, there was a few things last year early on that we had to kind of adjust to on the fly, just like you do every opener. But I tell you what, they're very well coached. They got a heck of a plan. Again, you can tell that they really believe in what they're doing. There's a great energy to them. They don't quit. Regardless of what the situation in the game is. Man, what a gritty win they had down at Florida State. down 17-0 to Syracuse. Boom, here they come. Really rolled against Louisville. So I mean, just this is a team that's got beat at Syracuse, but got down and didn't quit, and they start, just here they come, pushing the ball back and getting the running game going, and then they come right back against Louisville this week, and here they go, figuring the things out. So I'm impressed with them. I really am, and just schematically what they do. And the same thing defensively. They're putting their guys in position to be successful, and I think that Jeff's doing a heck of a job down there, and this is a program that you can see, building in the right direction.
Hey, Coach, just curious what you make of Georgia Tech's lifting weights in pregame.
I don't think anything of it.
Hey Dabo, it's Josh from the Post and Courier. Just wondering, what have you observed about Balin and Brannan's relationship?
Balin and who?
Brannan, the brothers.
Oh, Brannan.
The Spector brothers.
Brannan. I thought you said Brian. Well, they're great brothers. There's a great family. His mom and dad, just great people, and both are remarried, and they're a close-knit group of folks that love these kids. And their sister was a cheerleader here, and just a great family, really close. And they push each other, they challenge each other, they hold each other accountable. They're excited for each other, and it's really cool to be able to have them both on the team together.